right back, guys.
Okay. Monica, do you have a question?
Okay, guys, should I give my little introduction?
Sure.
Sure, go ahead. Monica, I just want to make sure that Monica and Tracy can hear us.
Tracy can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, guys, welcome to the Graduate Resource Center online workshop series. Today, we're very proud to present Literature Review with Dr. Kathleen Keating. It's a pleasure to have you here. Just a few reminders about using Adobe Connect. So if you're having any problems connecting, you can refer to the Visual Quick Start Guide. Okay, take a moment to download the documents for this session. You have this introduction and the PowerPoint that Dr. Keating is going to be using. People who are using the microphone, remember that it's active, so just beware of ambient noises or anything that might disturb you or the other participants, okay? But that being said, feel free to interact orally at any time. And now, just for a matter of organization, please raise your hand if you have a question. Can please everybody raise their hands for me? Just go to the icon at the top and then click raise your hand. Monica and Tracy, thank you. Okay, moving forward. I just wanted to remind you that our next workshop will be building a bibliography with Zotero, also with Dr. Keating. It's tomorrow from 5:30 to 6:30. And the URL for that is meeting.unm.edu/grc2. It's our second workshop, GRC2. See how easy it is to remember? And finally, I urge you to take advantage of the other services that we have here at the Graduate Resource Center. So we have online writing labs, writing and statistics laboratory, writing groups, boot camps, workshops like this one. We have funding opportunities like the Academy and the Latino Graduate Fellowship, which by the way, I just got awarded. We have computer and free printing and just a quiet space if you want to study. So please visit us. We will be more than happy to have you. And now Dr. Kim is going to take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Felipe. I think it might be great if either Tracy and Monica would type in the chat and let me know what area of discipline you're studying or what graduate program you're in, just so that I can get an idea of who you are, so I won't have to go through a lot of the different steps. So let's see. Tracy's typing. Oh, lit master's program. Okay, excellent.
Thanks.
Speech and language pathology. Okay, excellent. I cover an awful lot of databases when I'm going through this, and so I just don't want to take you into databases that might be irrelevant in your research. So what I'm going to go through is I'm going to start off with the PowerPoint, and then I'm going to have to go through most of that, and then I'm going to switch back and take you into different databases to help you find resources on your topics. So basically, literature review. Is the beginning. So what I'll tell you this time is what I'm going to do is define what a literature review is. I'll identify resources to search for literature reviews and how to begin the process of collecting material for the development of a literature review. And I'm also going to give you some extra links on how to actually write one that'll be really beneficial for you, I'm sure. And so basically, what is a literature review? And we have a definition. Process of reading, analyzing, evaluating, and summarizing scholarly materials about a specific topic. And literature reviews can be very detailed. But the results or the uses of a literature review can be compiled into a report. They might serve as part of a research article, a thesis, or grant proposal. So you're going to be a wide range. I'm sure that both of you are looking for getting your master's or PhD, so that's where you're concentrating. Basically, a literature review is a state-of-the-art assessment. It's written for specialists. So you can use your own jargon within your field. And it usually has an exhaustive bibliography along with it. So I kind of like to mention to new students, now that you're graduate students, that this is one way to show that you are a scholar. And I want you to start to think of yourselves as a scholar when you're getting in there with the research and you're having rhetorical conversation with all the other major writers in your fields. You're right in there with them. And so it also gives you a chance to demonstrate how your research will contribute to the existing knowledge, and also to show your skills in several areas. One, information seeking, that you know that you can do the research in your area and find the materials in your field. And then also that you can critically appraise and evaluate the relevant significance of those studies in your field. So it's a great process. If you're doing it for a grant proposal, just a few things on this slide. Usually with grant proposals, literature reviews have to be like 1 or 2 pages long, and they're usually evaluated by experts in the field, so you have to be very, very precise. So you guys will get a copy of this. You can read through it more at the end. So starting with researching for a literature review is you want to start to see if there's been a literature review already done on your topic. Sometimes with literature reviews, you may find one that was written possibly 10 years earlier that you can just grab a hold of and update. But some of the databases that we'll go into, our literature reviews has a lot of different vocabularies. They're called several things. So we have literature reviews. Literature review with the asterisk symbol basically gives you an opportunity to get the suffix endings off of that root word. So literature review with the asterisk symbol in any database will get you all the root word endings. So you can go ahead and also get literature review or literature reviews. And then we also have a literature survey. Sometimes they're called systematic review, and sometimes just review, or also meta-analysis. And when you're in the databases, and I'll demonstrate that, you want to look at the advanced search options in the databases so that you can limit, and we can also add into a search box. So resources to find literature reviews can be all over the place. Probably your first bet is going to be in the scholarly literature. There's also a journal that I'm going to take you into called the Annual Reviews of. It's a database of all the major journals, and they usually do provide quite a bit of literature reviews in them. Some areas that you may not necessarily think of would be congressional hearings, congressional committee prints, Congressional Research Service. Those government agencies, many times when the research there's deciding on legislation, they'll have experts write literature reviews in order to help inform Congress of how to enact laws. They also have doctoral dissertations, and I'll take you into one of those databases that I think you'd be happy with. Master's thesis. And then we also have our online catalogs, Libros and WorldCat. So the first database is Annual Reviews, and I'll show you how to access this when we switch out of the PowerPoint. But since 1932, it's been one of the comprehensive timely collections of critical reviews written in almost all fields now. It says, you know, from scientists, but it goes across all different disciplines. So this is one that I'm going to take you into. Another one, depending upon your areas and seeing how that your speech and speech and language, okay, those will, we can take you into some of those, as well as OLIT. I would suggest that both of you go through the Web of Science, and I'll take you into that one. There's also PsycInfo, education resources, as well as library information and LISA, and also Google Scholar, and I'll show you how you can go in there with a literature review. And once again, I discussed Congress. And then also we'll go into digital dissertations. I'll also show you LoboVault and also Google Scholar as we go through. And then if you're in the medicine or health profession, you might want to try some of these databases, basically PubMed, Cochrane, Dynamed. And within these different databases, they do use different vocabulary for literature review, such as a systematic review, meta-analysis, or a review. So what I want to do now is go to databases, and I'm going to share my screen and applications. Share. So I'm going to take you to the eLibrary site. So one of the very first ones that I mentioned was the annual reviews of, and we have different databases. I don't know how familiar you are with this. Let's see. We have library catalog, journal titles, and databases. And that first database that I want you to check out is annual reviews of. So from the alphabetical list, if you just click on A, and then scroll down to annual reviews, sorry if it gets a little busy. We're almost there. There you go, annual reviews of electronic resource. This database, for some reason, you do have to sign on once again with your UNM Net ID and password, even though I'm on campus. Basically, here's the database. It does have your search criteria. You don't necessarily have to put in literature reviews in here, mainly because you're already in a literature review database. So right here, if I was going to type in child, I'm going to truncate that for child or children, and another word right here, you can see this is going to search all fields. I'm going to switch this one to also look at keywords, or actually all fields. I'll switch that, and we'll just do use. And you can also limit by years, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it fairly broad and just go ahead and search it that way. I'm wondering why it's not. Oh, it's still taking. I'm sorry, I'm on a laptop, so it might take just a little bit of time. Apologize for the wait. It's odd. I'm going to go back one page just to make sure. We'll do that. I'm going to go ahead and do the dates. I'm going to narrow that. Maybe we won't have quite as many hits. So we'll do anything on child abuse from 2000 on, and go ahead and search that. And here there's a whole bunch that came up. It was probably just too large of a set. So basically, on the site, it gives you all different kinds of literature reviews. We also have PDF, and the full text are available for you. There's also, it's going to sort by relevance. If you wanted to see what the most recent literature review was on your topic, you definitely want to change this, and then it would go back, resort the data, and then come up with the most recent instead of the most relevant. It just depends upon how you want to do your search. And that's going to slow it down again. I apologize for that. But you do have full text. You can email these if you want to yourself. But if you do find a literature review that's already done, then you basically struck gold because all you need to do is update it. And you also want to make sure that you do a thorough search so that you know that no one else has done the research. I'm going to go back to UNM. And so underneath the databases, you also have some other areas that you can go into. You can do your database search by subject. And under the subject, we can take a look at that, go through here, and then what it will do is, let's see if I can find one for, let's just try education to begin with, because OLIT's going to maybe possibly cross over with education, and we want to do the education, not the K-12 databases. But what you can come in here is we have an education research guide, and then these are the specialized databases that you probably are going to want to check quite significantly to see if there's been a literature review done on your topic. So if we go into Education Research Complete, which is probably one of the premier databases in that field, and we did one on, I'll do child, let's see, we'll do abuse, and then maybe also on here, if you scroll down during the filter areas, they sometimes will have a literature review where sometimes some of the databases will have a literature review, some of them might not. So this is another way. Let's see if we have one in here. It doesn't look like we do. So what I would go up here, I would type in literature and review and see if we come up with any articles on that. And this first academic article, it looks like we found 563 health sciences, integration and review. So anything that has a review or a literature review will probably come up in your search. That's one of them. I'm trying to see what else might be useful for the both of you. Go back to the library. Another database that's also would be good to do is Google Scholar. Now I know some of you might actually access Google Scholar through just the general Google interface, but if you go through this proxy service through the databases list here, it will connect with our proxy and you'll be able to read the journal articles online. And so if I go to Google, and then I scroll down here to Google Scholar within the UNM proxy, right here, you can see that it looks exactly like it would if you were coming in just from the regular one. But we can also do child abuse, a literature review comes right up. You can see this is from 1978, so it might give you some background information. Let's see, and if you click on that, it is fairly old. I'm not sure if we would have it available online or not. There we go. So what you can see right now is it did connect you into the UNM, so we can get the whole PDF right here of that. You don't have to buy any of your articles now that you're graduate students. If you ever have an occasion where someone actually wants you to pay $30 for an article, you don't have to do that because we can get it for you, and you can see how Google Scholar interfaces with our system once you come in through that first that website that we have. So that's another one. I'm going to show you another one. And that's digital dissertations. It is a database that contains digital dissertations that have been published throughout the United States. I think it also includes Canada, as well as New Mexico. And basically, once again, just come here to the database selection, select D for digital, and then scroll down to digital dissertations and theses. It does include master's theses as well, but I don't know when they actually started compiling those. I think they maybe started in the late 80s when they started to add in the theses. So let's just type in. The main thing with dissertations as well as for master's thesis is you want to be able to get that final bibliography. Sometimes they do include the literature review within the first, probably the second chapter of a dissertation, maybe the third. But usually what you can do with any of these dissertations in here, you can preview the first 25 pages. But the preview that you'll see basically is going to consider, just go through the review, who the committee was, and it won't get to too much at the beginning, Masters of Public Health. So if you wanted this, what we would probably do, there we go, just the very beginning of it, but that's not what we really want to take a look at. We want the whole document. You can order a copy. If it was one that was published at UNM, with that, we have them full available online in the system. And we also have of 2 copies in the library at Zimmerman. One is in the basement, the other is in the Center for Southwest Research. So we definitely keep a hold of that. But sometimes in your research, there is going to be something that you may actually need to buy a dissertation because it's so close to what you have. And the easiest one to do is a PDF, which is $37, and it'll just take you through just like you were ordering off of Amazon.com. So that's one way that, one thing that you might want to take a look at. Oops. I'm not sure where I am right now. Here we go. Here we go. I apologize, I'm not quite used to this computer. Another way that you can also look through is another way that you can go in is through our institutional repository to look for reviews. Literature reviews within master's, thesis, and dissertations, and that's called LoboVault. And if you look right here, we also have LoboVault. Since 2008, every graduate dissertation and master's thesis has been uploaded, and it's available through LoboVault, basically open to the world, and it's also searchable on Google. So if we come down here, if there's a different community that you want to be in, let's see, we can go to community and collections. Let's see if we have OLIT on here, just to see, scroll down. So if you're interested in looking at, there we go. There's organizational learning and instructional technology. There's 2 master's theses. If you click on that, you'll see the 2 master's theses. They have the preliminary investigations toward a theory of pattern for technology design. If this is one you wanted to look at or preview, especially to get an idea of what your department is going to be looking for, you can come down here. Lots and lots of metadata on here. Right here is you want to go to this part where it says view and open. And then you'll be able to see the full entire master's thesis. And you can take a look at the table of contents. And then also you might want to look at how they defined, if they have a literature review, chapter 2. They probably include a little bit of a literature review. I'm not sure if they did on this one or not. But that's one way that you can find out and take a look at some of the other databases or some of the other dissertations within your field. Let's see if I've got some other ones. That's good. Now I'm going to try And go back. Then we go back to the PowerPoint. And so basically steps to writing a literature review. Once you've done an exhaustive library research, you can actually get started. You've got all the documents you need. You've got all your research. So how many sources, what types, you're going to have to find out from your professors what they usually have. But they really want you to narrow down the topic. And you're going to want to find models of other dissertations or literature reviews. So you can definitely go into LoboVault or Digital Dissertations to see. You're also going to want to narrow your topic down and use current resources or the most up-to-date. And so I've given you the pathway to eLibrary Databases tab. And then research guides is also another quick link that you might want to use. And you might also want to look at the consult experts, which are going to be your professors, people in the field, to help you start to narrow down that topic and get it started. So some strategies for writing is to find a focus and a construct on a working thesis statement. Sometimes that's the hardest. You also want to consider the organization of how you're going to organize your literature review. Is it going to be chronological? Are you going to do it by publications or trends? Is it thematic, methodological, methods, and or standards? It just depends upon what your department chair or your committee wants you to focus on it. And so when you begin composing, you want to use the evidence. You want to be selective. Use quotes sparingly. If you start to read different literature reviews, you can see that it's definitely a rhetorical conversation of other scholars in the area, and they always cite the citation, but they never actually use quotes. It's usually just a paraphrasing from that person. So the hardest part is to summarize and synthesize. And the main thing to remember is they want to hear your voice, not necessarily the voice of all of the researchers out there. They want to hear what your opinions are and what you believe as well. And also you want to use caution when paraphrasing, make sure that you cite, and then the other part is you're going to need to revise, and I know that sounds so much easier and it's very difficult to do. There are some other resources that are very helpful for you. The grant proposal Writing Elements for Success is a link. And this is one that I encourage you, I wish I could actually give this, but this database right here, Literature Review Synthesis, came from the College of Education and is given by a woman named Rebel Palm. And she actually goes through specifics of how to do a literature review, where it's a horizontal conversation and not necessarily a vertical conversation. And so that's probably one of the best links that you can get. And then I also have, if there are any questions. Does anybody have any questions? You can either, Tracy, if you have a mic, you can ask me, or I can, you can chat. Okay. Well, it's like when you're writing a thesis or a dissertation, you want to have it be unique. It's going to be something bringing new knowledge into the conversation, the scholarly conversation. So what I would recommend is that you do a thorough literature review to make sure that your topic hasn't been done anywhere. We did have one time where there was one student who was working on a dissertation, and she found out that someone had published almost on the exact same topic in Canada. And so, yeah, you really want to make sure that you do an exhaustive search. If someone has already written on your topic and you want to build off of that, that's fine. I mean, that's definitely the way you would actually want to go. But you really want to do a thorough search first. Does that answer? Yeah, yeah. Did anybody else have a question? No. If you do you want to go ahead and just ask it in the chat? If not, that was probably a little too fast, but you will get copies of that PowerPoint handout, and you will have links to check out those other resources and sites. I'd really strongly encourage you to definitely look at the one right here under other resources. In fact, I'm going to go back over here and share my screen to show you where that document is, and I'm going to do. And I'm going to come up here. So let me see if I can find that actual link. Here it is. It's right here. This is the one you really want to take a look at. I know mine, I'm doing it as a part of my background is a librarian in library science. But this is a woman from the College of Education that just gave an outstanding video, as well as she also has PDFs on how and what a literature review is. And so I've definitely considered, take a look at this. There's the literature review. You've got your own PowerPoint that's available here. And then also there's a literature review synthesis matrix that will also help you synthesize and build in how you want to start to form it. So you'll have your two main ideas, and then you have your source one from an article or a book, and source two, source three, source four. But this is how Rebel put it in there, that you're looking at it horizontally and not necessarily vertically by the author, and then the title, and then that you have, you know, the abstract, and then the research assumptions and findings. But basically, this is a way that you can keep track as you start to go through. You've got your where you want to cite, or and you've got your pages on who the person that you're looking at, and just go across and how these other people talked about the topic. So that's once again just a stellar presentation for you guys to look at. All I did to get there was I went to the just to the UNM library and wrote in how to write a literature review, and then back down here is writing studio presentations. Okay. There's also an evaluation link on here that you'll need to fill out to that Felipe would like you to fill out. So if you want to fill out that evaluation link, please do so. And if you have any questions, you also have my email on the handout, the PowerPoint handout that I gave to you. So if you wanted to, you can also come to my office. You can email me, and I'll make an appointment if you have any problems with doing the at least the initial search for your literature review. Okay. Well, thanks for inviting me into your computer.
Hey everyone, can everybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay guys, before you go, I'm gonna open the evaluation link for you guys, okay? Just look for it in your browser. It should pop up now. And if you don't have it, here's the link once more. Please make sure to give us your input about this presentation. We really appreciate it. And don't forget, tomorrow we have building bibliography with Zotero. Come, invite your friends, please. Can Carlos, Marilyn, and Tracy please sign in? You guys haven't signed in yet. Just go to this link that I just sent. There is one link for the evaluation and one link for the sign-in sheet. Don't forget to sign in, guys, and please complete the evaluation. Please, Carlos, Marilyn, and Tracy, don't forget to sign in. Okay, let me see. Let's try again. Okay, this link should be the sign-in sheet. Yeah, you're right. I copied the same link. I'm sorry. The second link is the sign-in sheet. Don't forget to do the evaluation too, guys. Please, I really appreciate. Guys, I only have one reply to the evaluation, so if you could please finish before you leave. We have plenty of time. This workshop was supposed to last an hour. So you have on the chat window both the evaluation and the sign-in sheet.
Oh, wait.
Thank you, Carlos. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us. And please join us in the future or tell your friends. Word of mouth is the best advertisement we can get. I only have 2 evaluations so far. So Heather, Marilyn, and
I'm
Tracy.
working on it. I'm working on it.
Oh, thank you.
I'm actually commenting. I know. How many people comment?
And don't worry, guys. The evaluations are anonymous, okay? I'm just seeing the numbers. I don't see who did what or said what. don't forget to download Kathleen's PowerPoint. It can also be helpful to you guys. The presentation is over. I'm going to stop recording now.